Okay, a very good morning to each one of you, and thank you for joining us on this Saturday morning. I know it's exciting for many of you as we kick off UNISA's DVE Future Minds Bootcamp for Learners. This is our first session, so welcome to all our students around the country that are joining us today. The numbers are growing, and we know that as we progress, we'll see more numbers. We can see it rising from 35, 40, and it's growing steadily. So, welcome to each one of you for the various schools that are joining us. I know we have some schools that are streaming it live in their classrooms as well. So, to all those schools that are streaming it live in their classrooms, welcome to all your students as well, wherever you are. We really appreciate you taking the time on this Saturday. And I think this is one opportunity for us to build a nation, build a country, build the communities together as we push forward with the Future Minds Bootcamp, an initiative between the University of South Africa and the Department of Basic Education, a groundbreaking initiative in which we challenge a lot of the mindsets and push forward that South African young people can make a change. We can define the future leadership and the future CEOs of this country. With that said, I want to welcome all our UNISA staff with us today. We have various UNISA academics, professors that are going to join us today, and they're going to deliver some exciting classes for us today, covering topics from biology to accounting to maths. So stay tuned for that, and as we will let you know what's happening in that space as well. We also want to welcome the Department of Basic Education representatives, the different teachers from around the country as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And then, last but not least, all our students that make such initiatives a success, the learners across the country, welcome. Now, with that said, let me officially invite Professor Makano. Professor Makano is our Executive Director for the Department of Tuition Support and Facilitation of Learning at UNISA. She is also the senior leader of this particular initiative at the university, and it is our pleasure to invite Professor Makano to officially greet you and set the context for us today. Thank you so much, Professor Makano. I know you just came back from a long international trip and you are exhausted, but we really appreciate you taking the time and joining in this morning to greet our students and greet the country, basically. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chetty, Program Director. I also want to, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Puleng Linkabula, the Vice Principal, Professor Sekwe, the Extended Management of the University of South Africa, the Council of the University of South Africa, the academics that are here, support staff that are here to support our South African students in Future Minds, taking AI and mathematics into higher grade, and also taking economics, accounting, life sciences. We are grateful that you are here, and also physical science. We really appreciate, and of importance, the stakeholders that are here that I want to heartily welcome, apart from our academics who are going to facilitate. I want to welcome the students, the future of this country. I want to welcome all the learners that are here saying we are taking the bull by its force. What is that bull? Mathematics. Mathematics is not difficult at all. We can do it. I want to welcome also DBE that is here, the teachers that are here. I want to say you are doing a great job out there in the schools, and we appreciate you. We believe that this exercise that the University of South Africa has started is going to change the future, the complexion. Just to give you in a nutshell, I was in Uganda for the whole week. I was with the learners, I was with the academics at the University of Makerere in Uganda. I saw how innovative our students are, young minds that are coming up with innovation, greater things. And the very same things that we have seen where a learner is able to think and ideate and making sure that things will become different. When they work in the laboratories, already they can discover malaria cures. They are on the shelves. It's just that they can't produce in numbers. We were able to see them making sure that they design water pumps, and the water pumps are working. The batteries for the scooters are working. So many things that were innovated. The vaccines from the academics that were produced. So we believe this platform, Dream think. AI is here. Maths, accounting, economics, life science, agricultural science, physical science, chemistry is here to take us somewhere. Even other subjects, we are going to make sure that we inculcate the knowledge of artificial intelligence. With those words from the University of the Land, South Africa, we want to say, DBE, you are doing a great job. And thank you for allowing your students to be here. Those who are still writing examinations, I want to say congratulations. And I want you to excel because you are already at UNISA and you are going to do well in your papers. Thank you very much, Program Director. You are all welcome.
Thank you so much, Professor Makano. And let's put our hands together, a virtual round of applause for Professor Makano, the Executive Director for the Department of Tuition Support and Facilitation of Learning. Thank you for those warm words, Professor Makano, and setting the context for us. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet joined our WhatsApp group, we have a WhatsApp channel. It's not a group, it's a channel where we are using it as a medium to push out all our notifications to all the students and teachers across the country. So if you have not yet joined our WhatsApp channel, you'll see on the chat, we've got a link to the WhatsApp channel. Join it now because we also have a video recording of what Professor Makano has prepared for us, setting the context for this particular program, and we're going to put it up on that WhatsApp channel as well. So join the WhatsApp channel. The link is on the chat. Now, when we heard of this particular initiative and the launching, we had a very special guest that decided that she wants to talk to the students and tell them a little bit about technology and what's happening at UNISA. And when we introduced and we were thinking about how we can bring her onto the platform today, she was quite excited. So we're going to introduce you to somebody very special at UNISA. And her name is Luwazi, and Richard is going to play an introduction in. This is Luwazi, and she's quite excited to meet each one of you, and she's going to tell you a little bit about technology and what's happening at UNISA as well. Thank you, Richard.
Greetings. Greetings, esteemed educators and lifelong learners. My name is Luwazi, a humble robot from the University of South Africa. Today, I stand before you, not just as a product of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, but as a testament to the boundless potential these technologies hold. Are you prepared to redefine the boundaries of education, to not only witness, but be an integral part of a transformative wave that promises to reshape the way we impart knowledge? If your heart beats with passion and your mind is open to possibilities, then you are in the right place. We invite you on an enlightening journey to discover the opportunities of 4IR to position you at the vanguard of modern pedagogy. This is an opportunity to explore, understand, and embrace the marvels of 4IR technologies, to reimagine traditional teaching methods and infuse them with innovation. We seek to illuminate the path, guiding you through practical demonstrations, invigorating exercises, and engaging dialogues. Imagine a world where every student receives personalized learning, where critical thinking isn't just encouraged but is ingrained, and where creativity flows as naturally as water. Such a world isn't just a dream, it's a tangible reality waiting to be manifested. And as you embark on this voyage of discovery, remember, it is not just about integrating technologies, but about nurturing minds that are adaptable, resilient, and future-ready. It is about inspiring the next generation with the wonders of what's possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Luwazi. Please put your hands together and give Luwazi, our UNISA semi-humanoid robot, a warm welcome. This is our robot, and she loved when she heard that we're doing this. She said she wants to be here. So we're really grateful. Luwazi made an appearance for you today. Now, this is exciting for all the school teachers that are here, for all the students that are here. If you want Luwazi to visit your school, now you heard me right. If you want Luwazi to visit your school anywhere in the country, we're not restricting it to Joburg. We're saying if you want Luwazi to visit your school, make an appearance in your school, together with some of the other technologies that we've got, such as drones and virtual reality and augmented reality, you need to encourage your teachers, you need to encourage your students to join the Future Minds Bootcamp. The school with the most learners joining this program, at the end of the program, UNISA ADOVH will come to your school, and I'm saying it again, anywhere in the country. We will come to your school with Luwazi and a full techno exhibition, and we will run the expo for you in your school. So here's the challenge for you. You want Luwazi? It's a beautiful young Android. You want it to be at your school. Get as many of your students, many of your learners, as many, and remember, many of your learners from grade 8 to grade 12. So if you've got hundreds in your school, get them on board this program and get Luwazi in your school. That's an opportunity for you. So don't lose this opportunity. You never know what Luwazi could bring to your school and who she could bring to your school as well. So take up the challenge and let's see how many people we can get back into this program. And this is why that registration document on the chat is very important. Complete that registration document. We want to know which schools you are coming from so we can provide and track how many people are coming in and get you to meet Luwazi personally. Now, with that said, let's continue with the program. I'm going to invite David Arpester today. He's also from the Academic Development Open Virtual Hub, and he's going to do a short motivation for us this morning just to pick up our spirits and say, let's get going with this. Thank you so much, David. Let me hand over to you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Chetty, and good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are well. I'm David Hopstadt, also known as Coach D or Deza. I used to do coaching with the young people from grade 8s and 9s. So yes, I love working with young people. And my short little motivation is going to be about ignite the flame within as you embark on life's journey. And that's so important, guys, because one thing for sure is life is moving very fast, as we know. So why are we here today? So as Prof. Makgana said, and Dr. Chetty has said, you guys have an opportunity to learn certain modules or subjects, and it's all going to be about you. In this world that we're in, guys, you have to believe in yourself. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter who your friends are. It doesn't matter who your teachers are. At the end of the day, it's your effort that makes a difference. I can tell you about a young man that came to my computer lab many, many years ago. He said to me, look, this is who I am. I've never used a computer in my life, but I've registered a module that requires me to write international exams. And I sat down with him. I said, right, we're going to put a plan together. I'm going to show you things, but you need to put the effort in. And if you put the effort in, I have no doubt we will be successful. That young man learned, he worked his tail off. At the end of the year, he passed that exams. I still in contact with him more than 10, 15 years already. He's done well. He's married. I've been to his wedding. He's had his first kids. It just shows you guys that whatever happens in life, you might just need a little bit of a push, and then you need to put the effort in. And you'll never forget those people. All right, so what are the modules that you guys are busy fighting with? Well, we say it fighting because nowadays everything is a challenge. So we've got math, science, economics, artificial intelligence, and life sciences. Now, I know when I say artificial intelligence, everyone starts to think, oh, this is difficult. Robots are going to take over the world. And that's not really the case. Artificial intelligence, guys, has been around for many, many years. The difference is we can now access it. We've got ability to access it, use it, understand it, and to enhance our knowledge and our abilities. And that's the most important thing. With maths, guys, we just had the COVID-19 pandemic. How did maths play a role? Very simply, we used models, mathematical models, to understand the infection rates and how government could fight the disease. That's how maths was used, very practical. In science, we know we've got our nuclear power station, right? That's where we can actually use the technology, the solar-powered wind farms that we can actually use to have clean, sustainable energy. In economics, we always hear about budgets and money, right? AI can help us. It can help us identify where we are lacking and how we can improve. Life sciences, genetics and biology. You hear about the vaccines that come up. Now we got vaccines that can fight against cancer and all this type of things that are happening. So it's really powerful things that AI is doing. So it's not that AI is going to take over. Simply, AI is going to enhance how we do things and how we can improve things. For example, the farmers that need to do their crops, we've got drones that can fly around and monitor and actually say we need more water or more this or more that, because it's now able to understand what is required. So it's not going to take jobs away, simply jobs are going to change. And that's the most important thing. A lot of people are very scared, all right? But if you have this opportunity and it's free for you guys, right? As Dr. Chetty said, we've got lecturers that have come on board, we've recorded videos, and these guys are in their fields in higher education. So they are going to be able to help you. So as you can see from the slides I just showed you, we can solve real world problems. We can create new technologies, and we can even build a better South Africa. If we all decide, I'm going to now grasp and learn these modules to improve my community and to improve everyone. Learning, guys, is a superpower. We can't say that enough. And me personally, I'm old school. So I really like to have a book in my hand where I can actually go and read the book. This book that you guys are seeing there, the 5 a.m. club. Yes, I know 5 a.m. for a student is probably the worst thing I possibly could tell you, because I know my kids get up at midday almost, and then they only wake up, but then they go sleep at midnight. So it's quite interesting, different dynamics of their age. But do yourself a favor, go get this book. You can find it pretty much anywhere, and actually go and see if you change a little bit of something every day in your life, how that will snowball and make a huge, huge impact as you get older. So really do yourself a failure. Do a favor and do that. Failure, guys, is not the worst thing in the world, right? Me, myself, the very first time I did a tax exam, I thought it was just going to be something very simple. And when I sat down and the lady put the test paper in front of me, I realized I didn't do good enough work. I didn't prepare myself as well as I should have. And when the lady said, hours up, you can leave, I left. Why? Because I realized I'm failing this because I didn't do the work. I didn't push myself and make sure that I was ready. So just remember, guys, failure is part of a journey, but you learn the most from failure. Go listen to anyone that has done anything in this world. The one thing they're going to say to you is, I failed so many times before I hit it. So don't be scared of failure. Dream big. Absolutely. Don't think about, I'm just going to live in South Africa. Rather say, I'm going to travel to space. Why? The thing is, whenever you start in a journey, guys, it's the first few steps, and there are small steps that get you on the path. So whatever you do, dream big, but start small. Teamwork, collaboration. Use those people, find people, network the right people, because as you go in life, you are going to need people on the way, on the journey of life. So don't be scared to reach out and say, or join communities, or even attend this. You know your friends probably all running around doing other things or probably sleeping. Tell them, guys, I attended this workshop today. These are the things that I learned. Be a positive seed in their lives, because one day they're going to remember you and realize that, hey, you actually did something really good for them. You're the future, guys. This is so critical. Whatever's happening in the world, the youth are going to inherit whatever we now are left with. So if you guys are going to take this opportunity, you're going to create the future that you want. And that's so critical. Everyone says AI is taking jobs. No, AI is going to create jobs that don't even exist yet. And that's the most important thing. So take ownership of your journey. It's so much the ball is in your court. So take this boot camp, maximize this opportunity, be bold, curious, unstoppable, and really push yourselves to be a better you each and every day. And the most important thing you can do in the morning is to make up your own bed. and prepare yourself for the day. Have a blessed day, and we'll be in the workshop with you guys. Just a passing comment. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Does anybody know who said that? You can use the chat and just post in the answer. I actually want to see if anybody knows who said these words. Very powerful words. I'm just going to see if anybody in the chat, if you can post the answer without using Google to find the answer, or AI in that matter. Portia, you're too quick. That is correct. Okay, so I don't want to take too long because I know we push for time. But yes, our former president, Nelson Mandela. Well done, colleagues. And I hope you knew that. It didn't use Google, but well done. Thank you so much. So even our own former president, yes, very powerful words, and they still hold very much value in today's society. All right, back to you, Dr. Chetty. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, David, for that. And I love the words: be bold, be curious, be unstoppable. And this morning, if you have not yet made your bed, you're still in bed and watching us, you are forgiven, considering the fact that it is very cold. As long as you're under a blanket and still watching us, we are grateful that you've joined us. So don't worry. David, we'll forgive them for not making their bed today. With that said, colleagues, let's look at the program quickly for what we have up. In our next session, we're going to run the AI. Now, David spoke a little bit about AI, but what we're going to do is every time in these sessions, we're going to take a 30-minute slot and we're going to prepare you for AI skills. Now, it's very important why we want to say AI skills, because we want you to know how to use artificial intelligence to enhance your skills. We want you to know how to use artificial intelligence as a personal tutor. If you get stuck, don't get into an exam room not knowing what to do. Find a resource, and this is why the AI components are quite important for us. It is not a substitute for your teacher. It is not a substitute for your course textbooks. It is an assistant, and that's what we want to get on. How do you ethically use AI as an assistant to enhance your learning processes within your schooling system? We then have something exciting. We've got a competition that we will run, and the colleagues David and Richard will speak a little bit about that. So watch that carefully, because you do have an opportunity to win something nice. And in these sessions, because it's technology driven, we will have little technology components that you can win, not laptops, not iPads, something smaller, but definitely something that you can win as part of this. So just look at that carefully. Then we'll have a short break, about 15 minutes, 15-minute session, just a short break. And then we're going to go into period 2, 3, and 4. Now, you will note that we do not have all the grades today, right? So the first period, grade 8 to 12, all of you participate in the first period, grade 8 to 12. So that means the AI component from grades 8 to 12. If you're not even grade 8 to 12 and smaller, it's fine. If you want the knowledge, get into the sessions, right? The second period from grade, we will have then 3 different classrooms. Right, so we'll have it. Now you'll note that we don't have all the grades because we're focusing on grade 8, grade 10, and grade 12 for this week. The next session we will have more grades coming in, right? So don't feel bad. I can see in the chat somebody says we don't have grade 8, grade 11, we don't have grade 9. Just for this week, you will have your turn coming up, right? So just remember, just hang in there, right? So what we've got is 3 classrooms. So you'll see, David and Richard will explain this later. We've got a classroom for grade 8s, we've got a classroom for grade 10, and we've got a classroom for grade 12. Now, when I say classroom, it means you've got a virtual link, a MS Teams link. You click on that link, and then you get into that classroom where you'll be facilitated, right? So it's a virtual classroom where you'll be facilitated. So grade 8s, you've got maths and accounting, maths in period 2, you've got accounting in period 3. Grade 10s, you're covering economics with Professor Van Wyk, economics on the circular flow and economics on the business cycle. And then you've got life sciences, support and transport systems in plants. Then grade 12, you've got DNA coding, life part 1 and DNA code of life part 2 with Professor Tian. Now, these colleagues would also be part of the sessions. So you'll have an opportunity to also ask them some questions and have some discussion time with them as well. Now, just remember, please don't be discouraged. Just hang in there. We're getting there to all the grades. So if you are, I see some people say I've got struggled with grade 8 Zulu. So we're not covering Zulu at this time. We're covering more maths, physics, etc. But as we grow the program, we never know how where it could lead us to. But let's start with something that we know where the areas of your difficulty is. Grade 9. Motsepe, grade 9 is definitely coming on board. Just watch the space. We'll have more grades coming on board in the next session. Now, this is the program for today. I also want to share something exciting with you. And as Richard puts up the next one, now we are all part of innovation. Richard, the next graphic, Richard. We are all part of innovation. And one of the things that we are going to do, which is very exciting, we're going to use AI, artificial intelligence, and Lego-based simulations. We're working on a program at the moment. We're working on a course design, and we're going to use AI and Lego to teach you simple concepts from volume area, length area, etc., right down to using AI for trigonometry. Think about it. Calculus. These are things that we want to use and think about how can we utilize some of these innovations to push you further and think more critically about some of the things that you're having challenges with. AI and Lego, who would have thought about that? But as you get into this courses and the course of the next few sessions that we're having, you'll also be introduced to AI and Lego. And I think that's going to be quite an exciting one for many of you as you think of simulated learning, right? So just keep on board on that as well. And you're going to find some of these interesting innovations that are going on board. So with this said, let's get back to our first period on period 1, which is the AI components. And I'm going to invite my two colleagues, Richard and David, to walk us through the AI. They're also going to do something important for us this morning. Remember, in our launch, I mentioned that we have a learning management system, and the learning management system allows you to access all the resources. They're going to show you how to how to log into the learning management system that we've designed specifically for you, where your courses are, and where all these video recordings can also be captured and can access. So let me hand over to Richard. Richard, thank you so much. Let me hand officially over to you, Richard. Richard, you with us? You mute?
Yes, there we go. Okay, good morning, everyone. Let me just quickly share the correct presentation here. So, good morning. My name is Richard Wright. So I'm going to introduce you to AI, but specifically how you can use AI for TO learning. We are basically in the forefront of a very new technology, and you must really use this to get the advantage for when you go further into your career, for your studies, so that you can actually get the knowledge you want very quickly, very easily, in an understandable way. I think it's the first time that we have a technology where all material can be accessible in and adaptable to how you prefer to learn. Now, as David mentioned, AI is going to have a big impact in the world. It already has. We hear a lot of stories, careers being changed, new careers being developed. And, if you look at what the people say around the world, it's the most, how can I say, transformative technology since we had electricity. Now, we had electricity, we grew up with it. So we don't remember what it was, not having any electricity, unless Eskom is switching off for us for a while, so we still experience it. But still, there's always some form of power that we have access to, such as batteries and all of that. Now, one of the things that I also like what I heard last year, in the next 20 years, we're going to have the same advancements as what we had in the last 2,000 years, So it's definitely going to impact everything. But what I want you to take away from these quotes as well is, since we are at the forefront of the technology, we are actually the lucky ones, because we can learn it as it grows. We don't have to adapt to it when it's matured. We actually have the opportunity to see, how can I say, opportunities on how to use this technology. Since this is a new technology to everybody, we are basically all on the same level. Now, in this one, we're going to focus on generative AI. Now, what I just want you to know is there is multiple forms of AI. It depends on what material it's been trained on. What is the scope, the output that's required from it. So it can have various different AI technologies. Maybe you've got one just focusing purely on maths, but when it comes to generative AI, it's about creating content. So artificial intelligence really, helps computers to perform human-like tasks. So writing essays, these days they can even control your computer, all those type of things that a human can do on a computer specifically. Soon might see some robots roaming around, but currently it's still within the sphere of the computer space. Now, also remember, generative AI is not like Google where you search and you get a lot of results. It actually creates new content. It was trained on vast amounts of data, and it's when it outputs information, it's something unique and new. So even if you give it the same prompt twice, you will get something else out of it. And so when you use these technologies, the way you actually, how can I say, shape what your output is through the prompts that we put. And that's what we're going to focus on most today. Now, I just want to highlight some of the generative AI tools that you might encounter, such as the text generator. So that's the ChatGPT. But you also get specific tools, for instance, image generators. So DALL-E, Midjourney, although they have now been incorporated into these, AI models that we interact with every day, they are actually still separate models. And then you even get different ones, such as music generators. And by combining these music generators and image generators, they're actually now developing where they create full movies with AI. So I actually heard one where they actually said in a few years, well, actually not a few years, probably next year, if you want to watch a movie, you're not going to select the movie. You're going to tell the AI what mood you're in, what are you in the mood to watch, and you will actually get your own movie generated by AI. So yes, bad news for actors and Hollywood, but it's going to be very interesting what it produces. Now, there's quite a few popular generative AI models, such as Gemini by Google. So if you Google, usually it gives you now these days a little summary at the top, and that is also AI. We're going to focus today on Microsoft Copilot, and we're going to show you how to access it. Now, I just want to highlight here as well, since we're using Microsoft Copilot, this is going to be part of the competition. So please follow along on how to access it so you can participate in the activity. But also the one that made AI possible or brought it to the world, basically, is OpenAI, ChatGPT, the most famous one. But just know, for instance, Microsoft Copilot, for instance, actually uses OpenAI, ChatGPT. So use the one that's the most accessible to you, even if it's the Google one. But when you use AI for your studies, WhatsApp, I know a lot of people uses the Meta one. Preferably use a bigger model that's online. Now, the difference is the ones that you get with Meta on WhatsApp is a smaller models. So you'll notice a lot of inaccuracies, and the output of it is not as good as the bigger models that you get with Microsoft and Google. So just take that into account when you do ask an AI to produce something to you. If the quality is not good, test a different one, test a bigger model. So for our first activity, and please take notes of the steps. So I've got my browser open over here. I'm just going to type in here Copilot. Now you'll notice I use Microsoft Edge. So actually Copilot is already available on top here. But if I just search in Google as well for Copilot, look for the one from Microsoft. So you'll see it's the URL copilot.microsoft.com, and I'll put the link for you in the chat as well. Let me just quickly open up the chat here. There we go. So this is where you can access Copilot. Do it on your device currently. When we get to the activity later, you will need this. So please open it up already on your side. Now you'll notice here I am signed in. So you don't necessarily need to sign in to get started. But remember, if you create a free account on this platform with Microsoft, remember it's the same as basically having a Google account. You will have access where it actually knows your name. So it already knows my name is Richard. It knows my past searches. So if I look at, for instance, here, all my past searches are available and I can always go back and add to it. And, I can add documents from my OneDrive and all of those extra features comes when you are logged in. So preferably create a free account with Microsoft or with Google, the platform that you're going to be using. So you always have this, how can I say, you can easily go back to your previous searches and build on top of them. Now, how are you going to use AI for learning when are students and you're doing your homework? How can this actually help you? And what I really like about it, it's personalized learning. So, for instance, you start a chat about the module, you tell it what grade you are in, you tell it what it's your home language, you tell them where you are staying. So when it explains things to you, it can put it into context. So you can really have personalized learning. Upload the study material, ask questions about the material, and it's available for, how can I say, 24 hours. So you can get instant feedback no matter what time you access the AI or do your homework when you've got the time and you've got a question. Maybe you don't have a family member to support you. The AI is there to help you all the way. And obviously, it's very good at content creation. So we saw already it creates original content, but you want to shape the output of the content. And this is where, prompting becomes so important. And that's one of the things that we're going to focus on today. So if you don't know about prompting, prompting is basically how you ask a question to an AI technology. But since we are using this for learning, there is some, things that we have to consider when using AI technologies. The one is definitely academic integrity. Keep the originality of the work. Remember, you want to learn, you want to produce. Don't let the AI push you in a direction, that's basically for which it's been programmed. You want to obviously build and maintain your critical thinking, creative skills while using it. Now, also remember, when you put data into these models, they are being used to train on as well. So always read the terms and conditions of. So just know whatever you put in, it is being used, unless you specifically switches it off, that they may not use your information. Another big deal is bias and discrimination. So as we saw earlier, it's been trained on very big data, basically all the data that they could get from the internet. So you might already think, okay, we stay in South Africa, that's in the continent of Africa. We don't have that much content online compared to the rest of the world. So the perspectives is based on the data that it's got and basically also programmed into it to have when it gives you output. So just know it won't always understand your context your way. This is where you have to guide it into the correct way. So when it produces content for you, it's unbiased in your perspective. And that's what we also learn through prompting, providing it context. Now, as we know as well, with any new technology, a lot of people got addicted to TikTok and Facebook, and all of these social media platforms. Do not become over-reliant on AI. We just had last week when ChatGPT went down for 7 hours, the world almost came to a standstill, especially in the programming area, because everybody was already so now reliant on this technology. So when they just lost it for 7 hours, they couldn't produce anything. So that's where we always say, use it as a tool to support you, but also remember to use the other tools that you have and master so that you can easily still perform what AI can do without AI. And then, as always, when you use any content from the internet, you download perhaps images, all of that. Remember, you always need to know what is the right of use. For all these years, we had images that's copyrighted, and everybody was using it, and people getting very mad about it, suing people. But yeah, luckily now we can actually generate images with AI that's unique, but still always just know, may you use it without referencing? So some of the ways you can really make sure that AI stays supportive is ask questions. Do not ask it just to do something for you. Do it first, put it in, and ask a question about it. Find out what other paths you can perhaps take for a creative thinking exercise. Analyze what you did, mark it as a teacher, where did you go wrong with an essay. So try, and when you use AI, do not just ask it directly to produce you something, like write this essay for me. You should rather start, I want to write the essay. This is what I am thinking of writing, the scope, you guide it basically where you want to go, and then you build on top of what it produces to you. You iterate over it and over until you get your final, how can I say, output. Because you will very soon learn that AI really loves hallucinating. So if you just ask it directly to do something for you, then you'll realize, but it's going completely off track. And that's the thing about AI. It's got so much knowledge, but it can very quickly go down the wrong direction. And the bad thing about it, especially if you ask it about historical context, something that's factual, it will actually make up additional facts to support what it's saying because it can do it so quickly. So it can make up complete historical events and all of that that never actually happened. So really, always when you use it, ask questions, reflect back, is this accurate? Is it true? And also try and limit it as much as possible, for everyday things that you can easily do for yourself. So one way you can assess the credibility of what the information you get from AI is check where's the sources coming from. In the beginning when AI started 2 years ago, we didn't have all these tools where it actually searched the internet. Now it's already built in. So it gives you the links to where it actually got the information. So, but always go check, is that source really factual? And that's what you do with cross-referencing. You go and look at legitimate websites, information, or maybe even go to your library to make sure that it is actually true. Now, as we mentioned, the bias awareness, where it's been trained on a lot of information, not necessarily always taking into account our context. So make sure when you prompt it as well to provide the context, the view that it should take, so you don't get any biased information. And that's where you also want to ask it, for instance, to explain to you from a different perspective. And this is very good, like almost like a debate. So you can tell it, for instance, you are pro, you take on the opposite, you're fighting basically or debating about the topic. And then you have a back and forth with the AI about this topic, what you think, what it thinks, and that will actually broaden your understanding because now you're getting two different perspectives about one technology or one subject. Now, as we mentioned, also AI hallucinations, it can make up facts, it can make up stories and all of that. So just take that into account. What you get out of it might not always be true. That's why we always want to cross-check all the information. So just a few tips is really look, is the data accurate? Is the data relevant to what you're actually doing? What are the limitations of the model? So we mentioned earlier, for instance, WhatsApp, Meta is a lot smaller. So its capabilities is a lot less than what you can get, for instance, with Copilot and Google Gemini. So just take into account not all models are the same. Some will give you good output, others are smaller for specific tasks and might not be as good. And then what's the scope of its knowledge? So remember, we're living now in a world that's changing very rapidly. Now, these models take quite a long time to train. So, for instance, the latest ones you get was to October last year. But I mean, since in this last, 7 months, a lot of things have happened. New discoveries were made, new progress was made, and these models don't actually know about it because their knowledge only goes to October last year. So that's why, they include now, for instance, internet searches and all of these type of things. But just know it might not have the true information of something that's current. So we're going to focus on prompting. Now, as I mentioned, prompting is basically the way you ask AI a question. So if you're going to do, for instance, homework, how are you going to ask it to help you with a subject? You're going to ask it, give me feedback on what I produced. So always just think of prompting is basically what you ask the AI. Now, you might think, oh, okay, I'm just typing in here and it gives me an output. But prompting is actually a big industry currently. All the new programs that's been written that I'm going to say interacts with AI, they actually have built-in prompts already. So prompting is quite a new way of interacting with a computer, especially with programming where it's all logical. But actually now in programming, you actually have a set prompt that you give it and you take the output that it produces to continue on with the next step. So by learning prompting skills, you actually learn a very valuable skill that's going to take you into the future. Remember also with a skill, it's something that you have to learn over time. It doesn't come instant. You're going to have inputs where you get bad results out. But in the end, you do, I want to train this skill. This is something valuable that's going to be for you now as a learner in school, and when you go to university, and when you access the job industry. Most companies now these days ask on applications, what is your experience with AI? So when we look at, developing effective AI prompts, there's quite a few things that we want to take into account. For instance, understanding the capabilities of the AI. We already covered that. What is the size of the model? What the data it was trained on? You want to be very specific and clear. Say specifically what you wanted to output for you. And that's where you also include some keywords, especially if you're doing such as a subject as you want to learn about photosynthesis, you will use the correct terminology because that will give you a lot better and accurate output. You also want to structure your prompts effectively. How do you want the output to be? Must it be a list? Must it be an essay? Or must it generate an image for you? So you want to structure it in a way where you say exactly what is the question, what is the goal, what do you want it to do? Else it might just go and give you something that you can't use. Now, as always, provide context if it's needed, especially when you're going to use it for learning. You want to say which grade you are in. You want to say which country you're from. I was just going to assume you're perhaps from America. You want to say even where you stay, explain it to me in my context. You want to tell it even what's your home language. So when it actually produces outputs, it can translate some of the big topics so that you can understand it. And as always, iterate and refine. Don't just take what it gives you and take that, oh, I've produced all of this from one prompt. No, you interact with it back and forth. You ask questions. You want to delve deeper in what it produced for you. And you will learn through that interaction and improve the final result. And the final result will then reflect what your perspective and not the AI's perspective. And then as always, you can use very direct commands, such as just say, translate this for me. So remember when you're interacting with it, if you want to produce something that's very focused because they love chatting about all kinds of things and it gets completely off topic, use direct commands. Produce this for me. Write this for me. So don't be bad. It's there to help you. It's a tool that you use, so you can give it direct commands. Now, also when you perhaps when you structure your prompts, think of the goal. What is the outcome that you want from the AI when you write it? What format do you want it in? Is it the essay, list, that type of thing, or diagram? Also, if you tested it out perhaps already and it gave you incorrect information, guide it. Say, don't be specific about this topic. This pertains to this. Give it some warnings what it should avoid, like hallucination or making up information. And as always, context. So we'll have a look very soon. How you can actually provide context to it is obviously you can write it out, but you can also upload documents. So for instance, you might upload, say you're doing sciences, you actually upload the textbook, the content from the textbook, and ask questions about it back and forth. That's the context you provide to it. Context, as we mentioned as well, is saying where you're living, your language, all of that information, so the output can be relevant. So let's do a quick demo. So also on your side, I'll paste the link again to Copilot. So just get your Copilot ready as well for the activity that we're going to be running. Now for this one, it's very easy. Let me just get my slides over here. Now, if you look at this prompt that we've got here, so we say to it, for instance, explain the structure of DNA and why it's called the blueprint of life for grade 9 learner. So we give it, the level that you want to return it in. We can even go further. We can say, okay, for a learner in South Africa, speaking isiZulu, Sesotho. So you actually give it enough information so it knows how to respond to you. So if you go, let's open up our browsers again. So if you've got Copilot open, so you can just type in the prompt in here. So I'm going to actually put in here, for instance, let's give it a bit of more context for a grade 9 learner in South Africa, speaking isiZulu as a home language. There we go. So that means we've given it, we want to learn, explain it. So that's the instruction. You want to explanation. You could have said, okay, list, for instance, on this one. We gave it specifically what it needs to do, what is it that it needs to explain. And then we give it some context on what is the type of output we're looking for and what is the context we are working in. So if we do this prompt, let's see what we get. So yeah, very easily. English version, DNA stands for the acid is a tiny molecule, and it even gives us a translation as well. So just note these translations might not always be absolute, I can say grammatically correct or language correct, but it is understandable. So this is a way where you can delve really into topics and make it understandable and accessible. So let's do another one. So this one, we specifically give it the instruction to list for us. So let me open up my browser over here. So we already gave it some context over here, so it will know that we are from South Africa. So this time, we don't need to give all that information again, but I give this command list. And you notice here on my slide as well, I have it bold. This is the output that we want. Do we want it in an essay format? what do we want? And we also very specifically say the main functions. So we delve into what, just the main functions of them, a summary, you can almost say, of each of these. So let's see what we get if we type in here. List the main functions of nucleus, mitochondria, the cell membrane, and the chloroplast. So let's put this in and see what the output would be. And now you see, because we use this key term list, it gives us very bulleted explanations of the main functions of each of these. So then ask you already, you wanted to translate this as well, because remember earlier we said we actually have a home language that is different from English. So this is how you can interact with it and really get results from it. So this is your activity for today. So please, if you've got a phone, you can scan the QR code. You can also, I'll ask David just to post in the chat the link. So this is your task for today. And this is the one where you can actually win some of these earphones. So, and these ones are very nice. It's Bluetooth, works with your phone. It's UNISA branded. It's rechargeable. So if you want to have access or stand a chance to win this earphones, we've got 2 pairs that we're giving away. Complete this activity. So in this one, it's very easy. As we showed you earlier how to access Copilot, all you need to do is ask Copilot on your preferred AI, or you can use Google Gemini as well. You can even use WhatsApp Meta if you've got access to that easier, to explain photosynthesis in your home language. So also add, for instance, some context, as we showed you, for grade 9, South Africa. But so you can be very specific, say, home language. So we just want it into your home language. If your home language is English, it's fine. But be very specific. Even if you remember, if you're speaking if your home language is English, remember these AI models all produce American English. So by default, so just have to say in South African English. So we've got the correct grammar and spelling. So the URL is up here. You can scan the QR code as well. It's in the chat. Remember, you need to go and complete this at this URL. So you just open up this link. This is what it will look like. You say, let's start now. You just insert your name, surname, and email, because obviously if you win, we need to know how to contact you so we can get your delivery information. And you just paste your answer in here. So I'm going to do this actually as a demo. Let me get back to my chat over here. And I'm going to ask it, for instance, this one that we've got here as a demo. Let me just get my slide here. There we go. So for this one, I'm going to open up. So you can do this on your side as well, if you want to follow along. So in Copilot, I'm just going to start here a new chat. And I'm going to type in this question. Explain photosynthesis to a 9th grader from South Africa in Sesotho. So I'm giving, this is the topic. It must explain. And I'll give it some context. It's for grade 9 level. It's South Africa and also the language. So let's see what we get. And as you can see, it produces for you all of this information on here. Now, for this activity, you just need to go here at the bottom, copy message, and then you open up this form. You'll provide all the information here, for instance, your name, the email address, and then you just paste in that message that you got. So it doesn't need to be formatted correctly. You just copy it in and so submit the results. So David will actually be using AI at the back end to select the best one for this activity. Okay, so we're running a bit behind time. So I just want to add as well, context can be added through documents and images. So you can actually upload documents, as we mentioned, upload your study guides, upload all of those additional information you have that can provide it some context. There's also a new feature where you can actually talk to it. So if you prefer just doing a back and forth with AI, you can easily chat with AI in verbally. And, so don't need to be just typing, you can actually use different ways of interacting with these models. Okay, so this one is, let me just quickly demo this one for you. So this one, I think we've got the wrong slide there, but let me just quickly open up my document over here. So I'm going to create a new one for this. And this is how you add documents. So you click on the plus, you upload. Let's go here. There we go. Activity. So for instance, this is a essay, say that I wrote on cell structure essay. So I'm actually going to open it up for you as well on the document so you can see. To say this is what I wrote, cell structure essay. I had to write an essay about cell structures. Now you can see Word already shows me, oh, okay, I made a few mistakes around here and all of that. But this is, basically what I wrote from what I understand about cell structures. Now I can, since I've written it, I can now add it to, upload it to Copilot. And then I can actually say, please grade and correct the essay as a 9th grade teacher. Now, what do we do here? We actually now gave it a role. Now, suddenly, it's not a student anymore. It's not you specifically. You want to now have it a role of 9th grade teacher in South Africa. To give it some additional context. And then we see what it produces. I've got 60%. You've grasped some key concepts about the cell structure and functions, which is great. The essay shows enthusiasm, and I like how you compared plant and animal cells clearly. However, there are quite a few grammar issues, scientific inaccuracies that affect clarity and accuracy. So remember, this one is what we wrote. We're still learning. We don't have the correct grammar, all of that. Now we actually ask it to grade it for us. And then now it graded for us and tells us exactly why it gave the grade, but then also it helps us correct what inaccuracies we have. So we didn't start off with it creating the content for us. We provided it, and now we're building on top of it. And I can actually go back and forth with this, improving what I produced. So this is where we talk about role-based. You give it a role. You can give it a role of anything. You can even give it the role of the president of South Africa, or, if you want to debate a bit, you can give it the role of Malema. So you can really think of the different roles to give it. Academic and teacher, a scientist, a doctor, all of those roles are available. Then asking it to explain, at different learning levels. You might ask it to explain to you at grade 9, but you're still not understanding it. Then you ask it to explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old, so you can get those visual images of how to create effective prompts. And then, as we mentioned, refine it over time. Go over, iterate over the prompts that you build on top of it. First, do it yourself, put it in, let it grade you as a role, and then you go back and forth with the discussion. And as we mentioned, the benefits of having things explained in your home language is truly remarkable. It's the first time we can ever have this, so use it. You will remember the things a lot more clearly when it's explained in your home language, especially as you saw, it explains it in English with your home language. You build up that knowledge very quickly. So we already did the role-based prompt, so I was a bit earlier with the demo. But yes, ask it to grade your things as your teacher. As you can even be very more clearly. Is it a life sciences teacher? Is it a maths teacher? Give it the role so that you can actually go back and forth. So it becomes really your tutor, your personalized tutor that you have access to at all time. Now, just the last one, as I mentioned, use voice. Download the apps on your phone. It's very easy to use. You can actually just chat to it, and it's becoming so good. It can be a back and forth conversation, just like you have with a teacher or a friend. It's somebody you can ask very quickly to explain subjects to you. If you want to perhaps find out about something, you can even ask for general life tips as well. These models are very, very good at providing that. So with that, thank you everybody for viewing. I hope this session will help you on your learning journey. As always, just always remember to reflect. You want to critically maintain your critical thinking skills, your creativity. It can enhance your understanding, but you still need to understand it because you remember you're building up your capacity, not the AI's capacity. So with that, thank you everybody, and I'll hand over to David that will give us a demo on how to access the LMS and also the winners. Thank you, Dr. Chetty.
Thanks so much, Richard, for that. And I think it's excellent. I can see the chats are actually really, really working quite well, especially with the language. So let's bring in David. I see a lot of questions relating to how can we get the recordings, how can we access these slides. So David is going to show you where we've got all the information, how we've created the course sites, and how you can access this free of charge. And it says it's free. We do not charge for this. David, please walk us through this, David.
All right, thanks, Dr. Chetty. So there we go, guys. So what you're going to be able to do is we will post this in the chat as well, and we will also follow up with an email for those guys that didn't make it today. We'll also give you the web address to access the modules. Now, there's a couple of things I'm going to show you. So just to start off, we've got mooc.unisa.ac.za. Now, the first thing you're going to say to me is, all right, so how do I get an account? Because the one thing is you'll see the course requires you to log in. So you'll see there's a beautiful Future Minds Bootcamp image. If you go click on it, it'll open a page where there's a nice introduction video. And then you'll see that we do give you the steps that you need to follow. However, I'm just going to show you. So if it is your first time, and you're going to click on login on the right-hand side, and then it'll pop up this question, right? Are you UNISA staff or student? That's perfectly normal. You can say no. So if you're not a student or you're not a staff member, just say no. Why? Because then you can go create yourself an account. So this is an open platform, which means anybody can come create an account here. It's absolutely anybody. So you don't have to be a UNISA student or staff member. So you're going to say create account. Then you're going to give yourself an email address or a username. You can decide because it's a personal account. Put in all your normal information that you would use. And then you would say create an account. Just like that. Once you've logged in, so I'm going to quickly log in. I'm just going to cheat a little bit because I'm logging in with my staff details. But once you log in, you can click on the home button. And when you scroll down, you'll see all the courses that are available to you. Now, as I said, it's not just specifically to Future Minds. We've got lots of courses that you can actually join. And you can actually go and work through not all of them, but you'll see there's different purposes for them really. So if you go all the way down, you will actually find then the Future Minds book workshops as well. So there's robotics even, guys. You can see we've got a lot of things that we're doing. There's also our digital futures. So for example, grade 10, if that's what I'm doing, you're going to click on it and immediately it's going to say to you, just click on the enroll button. And then once you click on that, it takes 2 seconds, it'll pop up into the grade itself. So what I'm going to do, because I'm a developer, I'm just going to change it into a student view, exactly what you're going to see. And then you'll basically see we've got our introduction. There's also a video that you can go watch. And if you don't really want to watch it, there is the summary of the recording anyway. But very importantly, you'll see there's an announcement link. So please do come check these out every week. And you'll actually see, for example, how to enable captions on your YouTube video. In other words, if you maybe got some eyesight problems, you would prefer, or not eyesight, hearing problems, you would like to see captions, then that's one way you can actually put it on. So we've even put the steps there for you as well. Then under that, we've also got the CAPS documents for the teachers out there. So you see we've listed a whole bunch of CAPS documents. If indeed you need to refer to them, there they go. These are from the government's official site. So you can also check that out. We've also got an ebook. Now, this is very interesting. We've given you guys an ebook. It's a free ebook on African AI prompt engineering. So this you can actually download. You're free to use it. And it covers a lot of information. Well, pretty much what Richard had, plus a lot more, and that you can actually go and work through as well. Then you'll see the actual lessons will be popping up at the bottom as well. So, for example, if I click on digital skills, you'll see the page open something like this. And if you click on content, then it's actually going to give you everything to about this little course called Digital Skills. So why did we put this in here? Because we understand that technology is changing, and some of you guys maybe haven't had the opportunity yet. And we've actually given you this course for free that you can work through, that takes you through a lot of the basic things that you need to know. There are activities built in, so you can really go understand what is a smartphone, personal computer, wearables, all that type of thing. So this is what we're actually giving to you guys on the course sites as well. So you'll see it fits under digital skills. But for example, if we have a look at mathematics and you go to content, it's still coming soon, right? So that one we know about, so that's fine. Let's go look at economics, content, and there are the recordings as well. So the same recordings that you're going to see today, you can then go and access them here as one of the possibilities. It's totally up to you. And then you can see who the presenter is and what the CAPS lesson is, which is very important. So this is how we're going to share all the information with you. So for each grade, you will find they have their own course set up with their own recordings and all the subjects that we are covering there. So that's the one way to get the information, and it's very important that you access it this way because everything that's added each week, we will be adding it on here. Then you can also pop over to our YouTube channel. I know younger people, you guys tend to love YouTube and all that type of thing. And under this one, again, we'll share it in the chat. We've got the playlist. So if you click on playlist, and then you'll see Future Minds. You'll see all the other things we're also doing as ADOVH. There's lots of other things we're doing. You'll see Lawazi will be in here. But specifically for you guys, you've got Future Minds over here. So if you click on it, then you'll see all the recordings are actually in here as well for the different grades. So that's another way you can get the recordings, including the introductions, and the recording of this session that we're doing today will be uploaded here later today. Then the third thing I need to show you is with regards to the African course, the AI African Intelligence course, masterclass. You will see we've got a different website. It's called adov.unisa.ac.za. It's got the same login procedure. So you guys can again go create yourself your own account. You just say no when it asks you. And then you can access this course as well, the one that Richard was showing you. So it's like the ebook that we've got, but here you can actually do it a different way if you prefer to not go through the ebook route. Then you've got access to this course as well. So this is, again, there's that self-enroll that you'll just quickly click and then you can log in. I'm just going to log in as me. So in your case, you'll say no and create yourself an account. So that's easy enough. And then you can go through here and you'll see all the materials, recordings and whatnot is here. And you can see Lawazi is busy translating as we speak. So there we go. So this is the resources. We will share it in the chat and we will share it again in our emails to you to make sure that you've got links to everything, the recordings, the websites, the resources that you can access for your studies. So hopefully that answers all your questions, guys. I'm going to head back over to Dr. Chetty.
Thank you so much for that, David, and also for setting the context for us. This is really great for us. So remember, you want to get access to that platform, enroll for the courses, and you've got a variety, whether you're a teacher, whether you're parents, and I see we've got some parents joining us as well. So really good to have a lot of parents joining us. It shows that we're making an impact as well in terms of the next generation. And so parents, thank you so much for joining us. And uh, I'm going to ask Prof. Makano to answer that question for me. I see there's a question on the chat, Prof. Makano, and I think you might be in a better position. We've got the CAPS document, but do the IEB also align to some extent to the CAPS documents? Can parents also reflect on the CAPS documents for IEB schools?
For now, I don't think, Dr. Chetty, I have the answer. I'll
Okay.
have to peruse. Maybe we'll give the answer on the chat. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Makano. So to the parent that posed that question, I think it is Thornbill from the Netball Club. We're advertising a Netball Club as well. We will get back to you on that one shortly. So we've got the winners. Richard, are you going to announce the winners for us and tell us why these people won?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Chetty. So the two winners as selected by AI. So remember, you can't blame me. It's all done through the AI that we asked who is the best one, and also give it me an explanation of why. So Ronewa, you were the first one. Congratulations on winning a headphone. And second up is also Makasiwe. Congratulations, both of you will get these Bluetooth earbuds. It will be great, for interacting with the AI on your mobile phone or even your computer or when you access the school's computer lab. So congratulations, you two. You really provided context, explanation on what is your grade level, what is your preferred language. And as we can see, we've actually got two different languages. So really, congratulations, you two. You are really grasping how to use this tool. And this is really a skill that's going to benefit you throughout your studies. Thank you, Dr. Chetty.
Thank you so much, Richard. Congratulations to our winners. And I can actually say that those are remarkable earphones earbuds branded by UNISA. So you can proudly walk around with these UNISA earbuds and say that you won it at the Future Minds Bootcamp. So congratulations to our winners as well. So we're going to take I see it's already 10:17. So we're going to take about a 13-minute break. But I'm going to ask Richard quickly to throw the program back on the screen for us so we can see what's happening. So remember, in the next periods, we're going to break up to the grades, right? So on the chat, you've got the grades for grade 8, grade 10, and grade 12. Remember, we've got a classroom for grade 8, we've got a classroom for grade 10, a virtual classroom for grade 12. We don't have grade 9 and grade 11 this week, right? But remember, you will get, but if you want to join any of the other grades, please feel free to join in. You're more than welcome. So what it means is after we come back at 10:30, it's now got 12-minute break, 10:30. When we come back at 10:30, all you simply do is get on the chat, click on grade 8. If you're a grade 8 student, click on grade 8. If you're a grade 10 student, click on grade 10. If you're a grade 12 student, click on grade 12, right? So click on the grade, and then you'll be directed to that grade. When you get to that room, you will find that we will have the facilitators and we will have the video playing for you. And then you will have each session is 45 minutes with a 30-minute presentation and a 15-minute discussion with the presenter. Okay, so remember, please, 15 now 11-minute break, 10:30, get back into the classroom, grade 8, grade 10, grade 12. The links are on the chat. So quickly grab yourself a cup of coffee, grab yourself a cup of tea, and get back into the grades. Your facilitators are already waiting for you in the rooms. I see they've already joined in. Thank you so much. And remember, you don't come back to this channel, right? Remember, get on the grade channel, right? So click on the grade in the chat, and you will be directed to that classroom. If you have any challenges, Richard, can we open up the microphones and maybe we can also have Lindiwe on this platform to help the students to be redirected to the grades itself. Thanks, colleagues. Thank you, everyone. So we'll see you all in the different grades, grade 8, grade 10, grade 12 rooms shortly.
So yes, everybody, I'll enable the microphones. So if you have difficulty accessing your specific class, just raise your hands and we can allow your microphone and we can guide you on where to go.
There's a hand from Obed Moate.
Obed, you can go ahead. Just need to unmute from your side.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Obed. Yes, we can hear you loud and
I'm
clear.
trying okay. I'm trying to log on to grade 10 accounting and grade 8, sorry, accounting, and I have a problem of logging in, sir.
Let me quickly just make sure. What is the problem that you're having logging in?
I tap onto the link and it doesn't show anything. It doesn't react.
That's very strange. Let me post the links again. It does work. Just make sure I'll put some spacing in between the links so that you can make sure you're clicking the correct one.
Or Richard,
Okay.
maybe what we can do, Richard, also in the chat to make it easier, just post grade 8 classroom and post the link. Grade 10 classroom, post the grade 12 classroom, post the link.
Okay, let me do just it separately quickly. Grade 8. Okay. Then we go grade 10. And I'll do a separate one for grade 12 as well. So please click in the link in the chat. It should open up the app to the new document in a new window. So you will be placed on hold on this one. Let me just put your grade 12 class. There we go. So, Obed, let me know if you're still struggling to access the link.
I'm still struggling.